All right, hello and welcome everybody to the Dakota Poker Tour. We are continuing our tour here with the Full Throttle Open here at the Speedway Event Center in West Fargo, North Dakota. Almost said Minnesota. My name is Brian of the Dakota Poker Tour, and we're getting right into the action here. So this is our first event, second event of the weekend. Actually, we had a Super Satellite night last night. Had about 28 players, I believe 26, 28 players qualifying for either today or tomorrow's tournament, but 157 registered players here today. And we're just going to introduce, we already have the shuffle up in deal call, so as the action starts, we will give you a little bit of an introduction. So in seat 1, we have Cash Mitchell of Fargo. He's going to start with 11,100 in chips. In seat 2, we have Justin Halverson of Fargo. He's going to start with 54,700 in chips. Scott Mackner in seat 3 of Detroit Lakes. He is our chip leader at our feature table, 76,300 in chips. In seat 4, no stranger to the Dakota Poker Tour, Eric Kimball of Moorhead, Minnesota, 19,200 in chips. He'll have the third shortest chip stack at our feature table. In seat 5, we have Travis Samschel of Jamestown. I believe we saw him when we were out there for the Buffalo City Showdown. Nonetheless, or maybe it was the Eagle Eye in Valley City, but Travis Samschel, 62,700 in starting chip stack on the feature table. In seat 6, Sudipta Das of West Fargo, 38,600 in chips. Sudipta just announced on Facebook, so I think it's made public. He accepted a position, I believe, with Amazon. He's going to be moving away from us, so we're definitely happy that he's spending his final days in West Fargo or the Fargo-Moorhead area here on the Dakota Poker Tour. Seat 7, we have Lyle Georges of Buffalo, Minnesota, 46,400 in starting chips. In seat 8, we have Greg Troutween of Fargo, 32,000 in chips. And then in seat 9, we have Jerry Alonge of Jamestown. He's going to be our second shortest stack at this table with 19,000 in chips. So Sudipta is going to be having a 2-pair here from the river, walking into Justin's trip deuces. So this is definitely an interesting situation here. So Lyle checked, Justin bet, and Sudipta goes all in with 2-pair, and Sudipta, just like that, is going to be, oh my gosh, eliminated from the tournament here. Certainly was hoping, not expecting him to go out on the first hand, but that is poker for you, ladies and gentlemen. Dang, Sudipta Das out in 156th place. He, I think, is the second person, according to our information on the website. We have a live update tracker. So Sudipta Das eliminated in 156th place, a super strong poker player, eliminated really early. The good news for him, though, on the weekend, I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow, is we are going to have a bounty tournament tomorrow at the Speedway Event Center right here. So we're looking forward to Sudipta joining us at that time, assuming he's playing. This is a one-day tournament, $150 buy-in, and 20,000 in chips as your starting stack. $50 add-ons for 10,000 additional chips. Average chip stack right now is just shy of 40,000, so most of our table is going to be below that average chip stack. Here, Cash Mitchell in the 1 seat, picking up pocket queens. Travis ace-9 suited will call. And you'll notice that today and this weekend, I'll be able to talk much more openly about hands and actually say cards because I'm not within 10 feet of the table. We are have a huge event space here, and actually we've had overflow spilling back behind our pipe and drape setup, so tons and tons of tables. But I'm far enough away where I can speak at a good volume and no one's going to hear me. So a little bit of a treat for you and for me. I don't have to hide, I guess, my excitement or anything like that, so the players can't pick up what's going on possibly from the sound of my voice. So very excited to finally be talking openly and freely about poker hands today. 5 of diamonds on the turn. I think we're having just a couple quick technical difficulties, but cash will go all in. So it's going to be Sam's queens, I believe. Bunch of low cards on the board. We're not sure what he's up against. Oh, the ace-9, I believe, so he had a flush draws from what I can see on the cards. So I believe that's up against Travis Samschel, and he will double up Cash Mitchell with a pair of queens. I think he basically just had ace-high with the flush draw, so not a huge price to pay for Travis to try to knock someone out. Cash Mitchell definitely happy to continue his run here on the feature table. It happens time and time again where we'll start up a stream on the feature table, some new players on there, and within the first hand or two, you know, we got an all-in, and that player's used up just a couple of their 15 minutes of fame. So start the clock on, I believe, Cash, Justin, Scott, Lyle, Greg, and Jerry, if I'm not mistaken. All of those guys, as far as I can remember, have not been on coverage here for the Dakota Poker Tour. So welcome to the table. Welcome to the stream. I want to thank everyone joining us on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and notification bell. Get all the updates of upcoming Dakota Poker Tour events and streams. So Jerry will call the 300, and Cash will check his option. Flop comes 3-8 deuce rainbow. Jerry will bet 1,500 on the flop after pairing his 8, and he'll pull in a small pot here. This is a one-day tournament, supposed to be, as we have a brand new tournament tomorrow. So if players did not perform to the best of their ability here today, say they've already been knocked out, they have a chance tomorrow. Come on for bounty tournament. So black chip bounty tournament starts at 12 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be a $200 buy-in. Gets you 20,000 in chips, and you'll receive a $100 bounty on each player. Think about that. A $100 bounty for each player you knock out tomorrow. There is an extra $100 add-on for the full 300. But holy cow, if there's a day to play, it's tomorrow for sure. I mean, today you can still come and buy in if you'd like. We have plenty of people, but we would always love to grow that that prize pool even more. Be pretty sick. But we have 4 players in on a Jack Ace 4 rainbow flop. Cash hits his Jack. Lyle hits his Ace, but no one actually gets 2 pair for Lyle. So Lyle definitely in the driver's seat here, but Cash is gonna take a little stab at it for 1,200. Justin will get out of the way. I don't think Lyle's going anywhere for sure, knowing that he's got 2 pair. So he'll make the call. Still kind of disguising his hand. He's hanging around, doesn't want to give up. I mean, doesn't want to give up that he has the ace. Oh my gosh. And Lyle perhaps being punished for not being more aggressive and maybe raising on the turn. Wow, so Cash picks up trips on the river. Lyle kicking himself in the pants that he wasn't a bit more aggressive to try to get Cash off of his Jack or 4 or 8, you know, whatever he may have had. So Cash, nice little run here, doubles up, Rivers trips to pull out another nice sized pot. Now, Lyle probably pretty happy that, you know, Cash probably could have taken a lot more from him, and that could have been a much bigger hand. But so there's some silver lining in that for you, Lyle. That could have been worse. Lyle back in a hand here. He'll call 600. So we're going to call. Greg raises to 1,800. Jerry calls. We're going to fold around to Lyle. 1,200 more. He'll call. Flop comes 3-7-4. George is going to bet 2,500. Greg will call with a gut shot. Flopped a gut shot. Jerry with his pocket eights has got seeing a pretty lovely board, knowing that there's no overcard over there. That's always scary. You know, the range of hands that a player most likely will be playing is going to be, you know, somewhere ace 10, tens, oh, who knows. It's not going to be, ace 5 is definitely in that range too, but oh my, Jerry Rivers, an 8 for a full house here. So Greg does not hit his gut shot. Would have needed a 6, but Greg is going to take a stab at it. Jerry shoves all in immediately, and Greg will fold with no equity. So Jerry pulling in a little nice size pot here. Much needed chips coming his way, and he'll expose his 2 8s to let the players know just how lucky he really got. And Lyle will call big blind for 600. Blinds are at 300, 600 with a 600 big blind ante. Jerry calls, Cash calls, Scott calls for 300, and Eric checks his options. So we have 5 players into the flop. And that flop comes 3-9-4. Lyle hits top pair. Scott flops a nice the nut flush draw and a gut shot. So Scott's got a lot of equity on the hand. Cash, which with his middle pair, is going to get out of the way. It's probably a good idea. Scott will call. Eric will get out of the way. And just like that, Scott hits his nut flush draw. So there's nothing Lyle can get here that'll make him a better hand. So Scott bets 2,000. Lyle will stick around and see. Little does he know he's up against a monster. So we'll see what Scott does here. Probably to get aggressive. He'll bet 5,000, and Lyle will fold. Definitely a good choice there by Lyle, but his chip stack is dwindling. Lyle's had the short end of the stick on a number of hands here on the feature table since we've started. Really unfortunate. And yeah, there we can see Cash, Greg, Eric, super low on the chip stacks. They are going to be needing to go all in pretty soon. Justin sitting at top with 139K. Definitely a very strong start for him on the stream. Justin starting off with 54,000, so Justin has more than doubled up his chip stack since being here on the feature table. So here, Travis and Cash find themselves dueling in a hand here. So we're missing a 10 of diamonds out there on the flop, so there will be 2 diamonds. Travis checks. Cash will fire away for 1,300. Travis does have a flush draw, and he will make the call. So there's a 10 diamonds out there as well. River's the ace of diamonds. So Travis does hit. Wow, yeah, Travis hits his flush there. Not sure why he checked. Knowing, I mean, you can have a straight. That's cool and all, but I suppose a higher flush. Be scared of that. Walking around a little bit earlier today, and maybe not so surprised for me to see, but also happy to see Chris Hanson. Chris Hanson will be, he's in the field today. So he is playing. Chris Hanson of Poker Night in America. He will be joining me in the booth perhaps later tonight, unless he makes a nice little run at the tournament. And for sure we'll have him in the booth tomorrow. So looking forward to be working with Chris again and sharing, not sharing the mic, but sharing the load of commentary with a legend in the poker community. So I guess we'll be cheering on Chris Hanson. We'll try to get him on the feature table today. But so Greg Troutween will raise to 1,500. Cash calls, Eric calls, and Travis calls. So we have 4 fairly premium hands going at it on this. So We'll see what comes up on the flop. But certainly these are all really good blackjack hands. Wish we were playing that right now. So a bunch of small cards. Oh, Chris Hanson is coming in. 6, 9, 8 on the flop. There, we got it in. So Chris Hanson will be sitting down here. So we have a pretty weak flop, which is kind of what I was expecting, seeing we had such premium cards in hands right now. So it's really going to be a matter of who gets aggressive first. So Travis led out with 1,800, and we folded around to Eric, who did call because he does have a open-ender. 9 of diamonds on the turn, so Travis checks, Eric checks, 4 of clubs on the river. Travis will check, and Eric will fire away for 6,000. A nice size bet here. Certainly will get anyone off of just an ace-high hand, so nice little bet there from Eric. And boy, oh boy, we got a treat for you, I guess, already. You talk about him, and he comes on stream. That's Chris Hanson will be sitting down in, I believe, where Sudipta was, and that'll be the 6th seat. Chris Hanson will be starting off with 34,300 in chips, but he will be sitting out until the button. Today's tournament is seeing a record Dakota Poker Tour field of 159 unique players. So I'd like to thank all of the players that came out today to contribute to the highest field, the biggest field we've ever had. Prize pool is going to be about 36,000. We're definitely hoping for a 10K at the top. Grand prize. So Eric 3 bets to 2,700, and cash will fold. So waking up with Big Slick is getting aggressive. I do like the play, and cash is going to get out of the way. Eric will pull in some more chips. And with that record number of players, 159, they're not all, Fargo-Moorhead natives. We have players traveling from all over, making sometimes 3+ hours of a trek to get out here. So Killdeer, North Dakota, that's like 5 hours away, if not more. Sioux Falls, Fridley, Minnesota. We definitely want to welcome all the new players here on the Dakota Poker Tour, and we hope that they have a good time. We really enjoy what we do, and really want to provide the best quality stream and tournament in the North Dakota area. Jerry checks his option. Flop comes 8, 3, 10, 2 clubs. Travis open-ended, well, not an open-ended, but just a flush draw. Not an open-ended flush draw. So Travis will be aggressive with the equity on the hand, and no one else really has any. So He'll win a small little pot here. So Lyle, I believe, raises it up to 2,000. Jerry will call, Cash will call in the big blind. Flop comes 3 Jack 9, all spades. So Lyle with the flush draw, middle pair. Jerry flops an open ender. Cash flops a gut shot. So a lot of potential on this hand. But Lyle will be aggressive first, and he'll get the other players out of the way, not chasing anything. It's definitely a... You don't want to be too aggressive and get knocked out so soon, but well, blinds, I suppose, are small enough at this point right now where you can afford to wait for a more premium hand. But as those blinds raise and get higher, you know, we're going to be seeing some of these shorter stacks really making a push to double up and get to a much more comfortable position. So for perspective, the average chip stack right now is 40,000, and I think we just have a handful of players that are around there. Scott will fold. No, less than a handful. Eric folds. Travis waking up with some cowboys. He's going to raise, min raise to 1,200. Chris, 9-8 offsuit. He's going to throw those away. Lyle with pocket eights will call. Greg, I'm sure, will call as well. Perhaps raise it up. So he's going to raise to 4,000. And Jerry, big slick, you can't run away from that. You can, but Jerry does have the only ace in his hand thus far. So he'll make the call. Cash will fold, so there's another ace. Justin, not sure what he had, but it wasn't good enough to play, so it doesn't really matter. Travis re-raises to 15,000. He's going to check some guts here. Lyle, middle pocket pair, that's no good. Greg, he'd be all in to call. So Greg calls by going all in. And we'll see what Jerry does here. He did re-raise it up. So Jerry immediately has to think, I'm either up against aces or kings. Like, there's no way. If he's up against aces, worst case scenario for him, if it's kings, he does have one of his outs in his hand, so it's really just a gamble, and we know there's only 2 aces left in the deck.
Attention players, this level will end in 1 minute.
Man, yeah, that's a very tough call for Jerry, and I'm going to say that's a really good fold. Really good fold, because, you know, re-raises to 15,000. You're stuck with ace-king. Nothing comes on the flop. It completely blanks. Now what? You have ace-high. You're really only hoping for the ace in the ace only. And there's queen, deuce, 10. So Greg hits a 10 for trips. Huge hand for him. Just want to avoid All right. Can see a diamond, just need to avoid a king and a king only, and there's only one king left in the deck, and that river is a 6 of spades. So Greg will double up off Travis. Not much you can do if you're Travis. I mean, you played that perfectly right. And blinds just went up to 400, 800 with an 800 big blind ante. So now we're getting a little bit more expensive to play. And Greg is certainly happy to have doubled up to be able to afford more orbits around the table should he all of a sudden become card dead for a while. I suppose we can be pretty happy and thankful that poker is generally an indoor sport, as it is raining, and it has been raining, and it will continue to rain. So shouldn't be much else going on in other people's lives. You know, and there's no lake country to compete with. You know, going out to the lakes, there's just a kind of a dreary weekend. So definitely happy to almost have a rainy day. So the best thing to do is go play some poker. So Chris Hanson will raise to 1,800. Lyle calls. Justin 1,400 to call. Chris does. Oh, yeah, he raised. Wow. Maybe it's not quite what Chris wanted to see, but maybe he wanted to force some action here on the feature table. And flop comes 8, deuce, ace, 2 diamonds. No one hits anything. So Chris, this is going to open the door with a check in front of him. That's going to open the door for Chris Hanson to, yeah, that's a nice bet. 6,000. It's enough to definitely get people off of pretty much anything. Wow, so that hand really pays off for Chris. Pre-flop aggressor for 3 other callers. And he's going to just keep on telling his dirty little lie that I have a strong hand. And with 2 checks in front of him, it was worth a shot for him to take a stab at it. And there, Chris Hanson, he's not just a poker commentator. Boy, you can push some chips around. And just got word from rest of the team here. Tiny from Hawaii has just arrived. So definitely happy to see him. It was rumored that there was some bad weather coming in from Hawaii. But he's here. So glad he could figure out flight situations. And man, just incredible though. Tiny, you know, spending tens of thousands of dollars for a private jet from Hawaii to play in a tournament where there's no way he could even break even on that. It just goes to show that he's got an incredible love for the game, and it's unmatched by really anyone. Here we see Scott and Lyle in a little hand. So Scott with ace king, Lyle pocket tens, flops a open ender. Scott nothing really. So Lyle bets, Scott folds, and That's the end of that story. So really, just remember there's three $1,500 World Series of Poker prize packages that are up for grabs here on Season XI. And Martin Short is our current point of the year leader. But if we have a $10,000 prize pool or at the top, $10,000 to first place, a win there. I mean, if Martin doesn't cash at all, a win there will put whoever wins this tournament in first place. So I can't say I've seen Satya or Mark Duffner. I don't think Brandt made it down, or John Harms. I'm not sure if anyone else is here. Bossum's here. I think I saw Mike Merrick here. I don't know if our boy Roddy G. Jr. is here. Sudipta went out earlier. Tommy Hill is here. I suppose all I really need to do is go into our website here, and I think we should be able to find who's registered and who's not. But Lyle flopping 2-pair. Justin hits his ace. Could spell for some pretty big trouble for Justin if he doesn't sniff out that Lyle's hand is much stronger than his. So Lyle will bet 4,000. Justin with his top pair will make the call. Oh, wow. Lyle's all in after the river comes. Might have a dead card out there. We're not sure. There's a queen, so Lyle gets a full house. Justin, our chip leader at the table. A lot to think about here. Did have a few more people come in and register, so we're now up to 163. The record number continues to grow, and Justin is still in the think tank, trying to sniff out if his pair of aces is good or not. We know it's not, and we really want him to fold and get out of this hand to spare him some shame. And oh no, he makes the call. He makes the call. I got a boat. Yep. We're just gonna put those in the muck. Might have been one chip that he threw in the middle, but that chip was worth 25K, so oops. I just want to extend another huge thank you to all the players that came out Yesterday, holy cow. Yesterday was our, was our Super Satellite night here at the Speedway, and the players just kept rolling in. Can't really be upset about that at all. Trying to see if I can pull up some more info on this from last night. Chris will check his option. Not a whole lot going on. Just so flop comes 8, ace 3. Chris hits middle pair. And Lyle will bet 2,200. So it's up to Chris. Does he want to let it ride on middle pair? Does he think Lyle has an ace? Yeah. We know that's a good call. And a queen, so another overcard. So we're getting really hard to hold on to that 8, but for Chris. But Chris and Lyle both check. River's a king, so Chris gets 2 pair. It should pretty much open the door for him on Jack 10, you know. Don't really want that, but that doesn't really make sense in the line of betting that's happened for Lyle to have Jack 10. Yeah. So Chris will throw 7,000 out there, getting Lyle to get off his bottom pair. But last night, Super Satellite night, $40 to play, or really 35, plus 5. And there was a seat certificate awarded for each $200 in the prize pool. So what did we have? We had 126 players last night. Meaning, who all? We had 29 players were paid out last night. So we played down to 29, and all 29 of those players got a $200 seat credit either into today's tournament or tomorrow's. So Greg Troutween will raise to 1,800. Eric with pocket 5s will call. Chris, pocket 8s in the small blind. 400 in chips cheaper for him, and same thing with Lyle. He'll also call with king 9 offsuit. So not a bunch of really strong hands, but hands that can be sneaky. Huh. Ace king 7 on the flop. So Greg and Lyle hit a nice card there. Greg with his ace, Lyle with his king. With four players in, though, if you're any one of these players, you got to think someone has an ace. Chris will get away from it, and Lyle will as well. And Greg will flip over his ace-king, showing everyone that he, or ace-4, and showing everyone that he had top pair. $147 players remain. We're up to 163. I'm not sure if that, can't remember if that number changed or not since last we checked in. Total number of registrants. Jerry 9-5 offsuit will fold. Cash will fold. Justin 9-7 suited, 2 diamonds. He's going to raise 2,300 to be a little aggressive with that nice large chip stack of his. We'll fold around to Chris Hanson. He's got 7 deuce offsuit. We'll probably see him throw those cards in the middle. Lyle will make the call with ace-3 suited. Greg in the big blind. 1,500 cheaper, but he says, nah, I'm out. Save himself that 1,500. Flop comes 8, queen, queen, 2 diamonds. Justin gets a flush draw. And he'll bet 2,500. And Lyle will fold it away. Again, want to thank everyone for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to like and share and all that stuff you do with social media. Get the word out about the Dakota Poker Tour. Definitely, if your friends are here on the stream, want to show everyone else what's going on. Give them that 15 minutes of TV fame. Jerry will check his option. Flop comes 3-4-2. Jerry gets a, I can call it an open ender, but it's just as open ended as a gut shot. So there's a queen on the turn. Scott's liking that. Justin raising to 2,300. We're going to fold around to Travis. Picks up pocket queens. Under the gun +3. And Travis 3 bets to 5,000. Chris with king 6 will fold. Lyle will fold. Jerry makes the call with king jack suited. And cash will get out of the way. Justin will call as well. 2,700 more. Flop comes 7-5 jack, 2 clubs. Travis's queens still good. Travis and Jerry both pick up top pair. Good kickers. Justin's going to need to see a queen. There's a 10 of clubs. Justin has no chance to win this hand. Jerry gets a little bit more in equity, but he's crushed right now against Travis's queens. Travis will make the call. 4,000. Oh, gosh. I did not see what I thought Travis was staying in. Okay. So a 10 on the river. Best hands folded. Jerry with his jack. Wow. I guess that's why you play the hands. See what happens. Justin will call with his jack high, but his queen kicker is just not good enough. So Jerry's king will play. And Jerry, with the second best hand, got the best hand to fold, will be picking up a little pot here. Wow. Travis was scared with that flush draw out there. Just thought, nah, queens probably aren't good. You know, when I'm playing a high pocket pair like that, and it's something that Travis could have done maybe a little bit better is to be more aggressive on the flop where none of the draws have hit. You should be fairly confident that your queens are going to be the best hand at that point. You know, even with the jack out there, that's almost a money card because if someone hits jack, they think they have, you know, top pair. But I would have liked to see Travis to have a little bit more aggression off the flop to either make people who are looking for draws pay to see that card or just to get him off of it altogether. So instead of pulling chips Travis's way, he's going to be giving other people his chips, and that's not the goal of poker. You want to be accumulating all the chips that you can. So we got 3 diamonds out there on the flop. They haven't registered yet, I guess, but so it's king, deuce, 4 of diamonds. I think we do have a dead card out there. Not a big deal. This is just a little stream. And the 8 of spades on the river. Queen high plays. This is just kind of our preliminary stream during the days, so we aren't planning on doing Marathon Saturday. This is just Deep Stack Saturday with a pretty large prize pool, record number of attendees, still time to get in until about 5 p.m. when dinner break starts. So if you want to get down here, play in the Dakota Poker Tour, try your hand at, maybe one of the largest prize pools ever. Get over to the Speedway Event Center, not the Speedway Restaurant. If you go there, you can have some really good food and whatnot, some beers and drinks, whatever you want. But behind The Speedway restaurant is the event center. So make sure to come on out here. Parking is tight, but it is doable. Did want to say last year's winner of this tournament, Justin Smith. Not in the field. I believe he's dealing. He might be able to get in as players bust, and we don't need as many dealers. But Justin Smith is our reigning champion of the Full Throttle Open. Vroom, vroom, baby. Travis with 10-3. He'll fold over to Chris. Chris with Jack 4 will fold. So cash will raise to 2,000 in the cutoff. Eric says, you know, I would definitely want to call, but I just don't have anything good enough. 6-2 offsuit ain't cutting it, especially against an ace-queen. So definitely want to thank all of our tournament dealers for being out here. Actually, don't even know how many tables we have going, but it's a lot. So again, you have about an hour and a half, about that, to come on down to the Speedway in West Fargo, right on Main Avenue. If you want to join us here at the Dakota Poker Tour, maybe you sitting on your couch or at home, not doing much. It's rainy, lame day, can't go outside and play. Well, there's one thing you can do, and that's come on out here, sit inside. There's a roof on this building, which is really nice, and walls, so protects us nicely from the wind and rain. So, all right, so we have calls from Scott and Eric. Travis will check his option, and our flop will come King 5 Queen. Travis hits his king. Eric checks. Travis will bet the minimum, 800. Scott will get out of the way, and I believe Eric will probably do the same, yeah.
Can't guarantee that.
Attention players. This level will end in 1 minute.
144 players now remain after I heard a seat or player down call from one of the dealers. So again, we'll be streaming later tonight once we get down to a final table. I could not tell you when that is because poker is not a time clock game. The only thing that's going on with the time clock is the blind level, but it's just as the cards may fall. So stay tuned, and if you want to join us, maybe today's not the day you can join us, but tomorrow is a bounty tournament, and you do not want to miss this one. Tomorrow, bounty tournament, for every player you knock out, you get $100. So that'll start at 12 p.m. It'll be a $200 buy-in for 10K in chips with an $100 add-on for an extra 10K in chips. So 30K is the max. And again, every player you eliminate, you will receive $100. So
again, you're at 600, 1200, and then 1200 ante.
So blinds are up to 600, 1200, and a 1200 chip big blind ante. Chris will check over to Eric. Eric he'll bet 3,000. And Chris will fold. So I think just as Chris Hanson folds, we will also do the proverbial fold at this point. We're going to take a break. We're going to end the stream here. We will be back once it gets down to potentially the final two tables. Maybe Chris Hanson will be done playing then. He'll bust out and he'll want to join me in the commentary booth. Maybe he'll still be playing. Maybe he'll be at the final table. And maybe he'll be Season XI DPT champion here at the Full Throttle Speedway. Still have about an hour and a half to get in. If you'd like to play, try your hand. We're going to be close or above that $10,000 first place prize. But we're at the West Fargo Speedway Event Center behind the Speedway. You can find us here. But like I said, we're going to take a little break. Be back in a few hours once we whittle the field down quite a bit. We want to thank all the players for joining us and want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching the Dakota Poker Tour live. So we'll see you guys all shortly. If you want to watch live action, come on down. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to fold our stream right now. Thank you.